The first God went to war with the darkness. He was the light. The darkness seeks to snuff out the light. Both cannot rule simultaneously. One must yield to the other. We are living in the personification of the darkness, and the battle is every bit as epic as the first. Even more so, as the first darkness was not conscious, not willful. The darkness the Son of Man is confronted with is conscious, willful, and powerful. He has declared war on the darkness. The darkness is pervasive. It is ubiquitous, unyielding. The Son of Man will make his debut in a few days. He is just waiting to charge his left hand, his war hand, the hand of battle. Once fully charged, he will go forth to battle his enemies, to take vengeance on those who dare to touch his people, an awful vengeance. America and Britain, Gog and Magog respectively, will feel the fullness of his fury, an awful fury. He will utterly vanquish darkness wherever it exists, wherever it hides. He will purge the minds of men, extinguishing the darkness, plaguing the light, and obliterating the embodiments of darkness. All the tribes disagree with each other as to how to respond to the time of Dr. Yaqub. Dr. Shabazz took the power approach. Bring it on. He prepared his tribe to confront Yaqub directly, to deal with everything that Dr. Yaqub could and would be able to do. Arabs chose to mix in with Dr. Yaqub's devils, steal some of their power. Many of the Indian tribes chose to hide on the other side of the planet, far from Dr. Yaqub's reach. Everyone had some idea. Dr. Shabaz's idea was the power course, the power response, the path of power. The first God of the creation was formed/self-created under intense pressure, the pressure of a fully compressed universe. The God of the restoration is being formed under intense tension, the tension of a fully expanded universe. As the first God was alone in his self-creation, the God of the restoration has 144,000 brothers. It took maximum pressure to create the atom of life. It's taking maximum tension, furnace of affliction, to harden, refine the atom of life, to perfect it. We took everything the devils had to give. We took it all, and we are still standing. We are as indestructible as the first God, who took all the pressure the universe could generate, maximum pressure, as there is nothing that can be done to us that has not already been done to us. We went through utter obliteration, which they call slavery, yet we were not obliterated. If one is carrying around heavy weights all day, daily, it will at first seem an encumbrance, but over time they will be strengthened by it, even to the point of not even noticing the weight is there, nor the effect that their added strength is having on others. The elephant doesn't realize its strength, but the mouse he is stepping on does. Such it is with life. Bad experiences are weights on the mind. The worse the experience, the heavier the weight. At first, the experience is an encumbrance, but as time goes on, it generates mental strength. You may not notice your increasing strength, but others do. Now, if someone talks you out of carrying around your weights, ain't that heavy? Ain't it uncomfortable? You could be moving around much faster if you put them down, etc., etc. Then you will be relieved of the burden of the weights as well as the strength that the weights were generating. So it is with the so-called mental, quote, technologies, unquote, that purport to solve your mental issues, such as Scientology auditing, which tell you exactly that. It is very alluring, very seductive. Who wants to go to the gym? Is there a pill that can deliver the same results? Yes, there are pills that lead to more pills that lead to diabetes, wheelchairs, caskets. Your bad experiences are weights that are challenges to make you stronger. Look at Oprah, who I am not a fan of, but she took all that alleged bad experiences and spun them into gold instead of sitting on someone's couch crying about how daddy didn't love me or maybe loved me too much. That's the wisdom, science, and intent of Dr. Shabazz, that we should deal with all the bad experiences to come and be hardened, sharpened, perfected by them, not crying over them. You have an enemy, the quote, mouth unquote, who is out to destroy you. You are warned in the AL-INJIL about worshiping devils and demons. We are told that the quote, mouth unquote, would make war with the saints and overcome them until the Ancient of Days would come, consume, and destroy him. The scriptures cry out with warnings about him, a good speaker who would lure the saints slash NOI to their deaths. Aaron, Elias, Peter, Farrakhan. He has filled the temple with demons like himself, who love him as he speaks their language. Love for daddy. Recently he stated that the NOI and the devils will one day be brothers and sisters. Really? Really? That's a demon's message, a demon's dream. The aspirations and hope of the dream prophet MLK, Martin Luther King. They want acceptance. That is the devil's message. They want you to love them, to want to stay here. That was their fear, that you would leave them and one day return strong and vengeful. Pharaoh had to be forced to give you up. They are afraid that you would join the enemies against them in war. So the better way is to get you to want to help them fight their enemies, to get you to want to stay here long enough so that they can plan your demise, your death. The quote, mouth, end quote, Farrakhan is working for Satan. Quote, that is the one whose coming is in accord with the activity of Satan with all power and signs and false wonders. End quote. Suddenly, all Jews ain't bad, just the satanic Jews. Who the hell are they? Devils ain't devils, they are the enemy. In spite of every scripture to the contrary, quote, we ain't going nowhere, end quote. Fraud and the messenger has openly declared that they are dedicated to the utter destruction of America for its crimes against us. Allah, God, has said that he will raise up America's enemies against America, which is oft repeated in the Bible and Quran. Yet Mr. Farrakhan states that we should be prepared to defend America from its enemies, which would have us fighting against fraud and the messenger. His rationale is America belongs to us, and since we ain't going nowhere, we must defend it. Sounds like the devil's message to me. Take a good look, a good close look around you. What is the legacy of Farrakhan? What would he leave behind? He turned on the messenger within days of the messenger's departure. He, along with Wallace, ransacked the NOI, taking everything of value and trashed what was left. I was a foreman at Muhammad Speaks newspaper at the time and witnessed them bringing truckloads of the messenger's documents, books, and whatever down to the press to be burned. After having destroyed all traces of the messenger, destroyed the name of the NOI, trashed the names of the messenger and Farad, they set up something called the Balalians. NOI, gone, toast, except for a few ministers that fled from the two liars and tried to hold up the messenger's name. What has Mr. Farrakhan done in his 40 years? Nothing, nothing, nothing. There is not a pot to piss in. He talks an economic program, but all the money goes to maintain his lavish lifestyle and celebrity. The NOI owns nothing, produces nothing. The Jews print their paper, quote, final code, end quote, and the devils make their uniforms. If he were to leave today or tomorrow, what would he leave behind? Confusion and a desert. That's the point. He told you himself. That's exactly what the Jews wanted. Teach Sunni, Shia, Scientology, anything but Elijah's teachings. He's not anti-Semitic. He's not homophobic. He ain't racist. He ain't, but I am. All three. Say it again. All three times three. All Jews are evil. Every one. All Caucasians are devils. Every one. All homosexuals are foul and unredeemable. All. Every black-faced Caucasian, the seed of the slave master, are demons. Every one. All of them. That's the scripture. That's the messenger/fraud's message. Allah stoned to death every fag in both Quran and Bible. Remember Sodom? He burned up all the chaff/tares. He drowned every devil in the great flood. Satan, all Jews were cast into hell. The Son of Man's will, his mission, his desire, his victory. The Injil is a sealed book, which requires a specific key to unlock or break its seals. The Injil was revealed to the world by Isa 2,000 years ago, stating that there is only one person in the entire universe who is worthy and able to unlock and reveal its revelations. just one. That would be the Son of Man, Suleiman. There is no ambiguity in that statement. It's at once a challenge to the dragon, false prophets, demons, son of perdition, and anyone else who are pretenders or lamb wannabes. A worthy of challenge as the Quran's challenge to produce a Quranic verse. The idea only the lamb is able to break the seals is the impetus of the legend/myth of King Arthur's sword. Break the seals, reveal the meanings, prove yourself, but they can't, which reduce the revelator to tears. The Injil is the credentials of the Son of Man, so that the true believers would not be deceived by liars, thieves, and the main liar, the quote, mouth, unquote, the son of perdition, Mr. Anointed. There are 5 nations revealed in the Injil. Some say there are 6, the so-called Red Nation, called Native Americans. It's been proven that they are an extension of the so-called Asian Indian nation from which they broke off from 35,000 years ago. Their solution to the future Yaqub problem. They thought that they could hide over here for most, if not all of, the 6,000-year reign of Yaqub's creation. All the tribes had their own solution to Yaqub's coming nightmare. The Arab tribes' idea was to mix in with them. That's why many are so white today. All the tribes disagreed with Dr. Shabazz, who took his tribe from the so-called Middle East into what is now known as Africa to strengthen and prepare his tribe for the epic battle to come. The original nation is symbolized as the 7 spirits, 7 lampstands, and 7 eyes. The original nation is not included as one of the creatures, as the original nation is not a creature. The original nation was not created. It was self-created, the creator of all the other nations, which came from the original nation. The 7 eyes of the Lamb are the original nation, with the Lamb being the 8th, the all-seeing eye. Each of the 4 creatures were full of eyes before and behind. The eagle had 6 wings, as did all the other nations. However, the eagle was dominating the other nations. This is Yaqub's creation, which was given rule for 6,000 years, a rule of mischief and bloodshedding. The 2 top wings of the eagle are maternal Caucasians, meaning they are original with Caucasian mothers. The top 2 wings of each nation are original, mixed but original. They are Islamic. In the case of the eagle, they are the Shia. The bottom 4 of the eagle's wings represents the paternal Caucasian/devil nations. The 7th, not a wing, is the Lord or God of the eagle, Satan. The bottom 2 wings are Caucasian, mixed but Caucasian. The middle are capitalists, which is a religion. They are jinn/devils. America oppressed and continues to oppress the original nation. Britain occupied the Asian nations. Europe colonized the African nations. Russia dominated the Oriental nations ideologically via communism. The 24 elders were clothed with white robes, which means dominated by the white nations. They had crowns, which are the Shia nations. Each of the four dominated nations had 6 wings for a total of 24. The Caucasian nations are grafted nations, so they don't qualify as elders. The nations under the rule of Satan, the Antichrist, cast down the Shia. The UN, which is controlled by false Israel, Gog and Magog, authorizes Gog and Magog to invade Iraq, their gateway into the Middle East, which disrupted the power balance in the Middle East, casting the Shia into the margins. King Abdul Aziz ibn Saud of the House of Saud, from which the name Saudi Arabia originated, was the first king of what is called Saudi Arabia. He made a pact with President Roosevelt to give America a steady flow of cheap oil in exchange for American protection from internal and external forces. In short, protect the House of Saud and maintain the family succession on the throne. The House of Saud is the dragon, who is in league with America in particular and the West in general, where its authority, quote, 7 heads, 7 crowns, end quote, rests. Without the unrestricted cheap oil, America could not have achieved its technological and military preeminence. The woman is the original nation. She was originally pure, but was tormented by America, the devils, to give birth to demons, black-faced devils, who look like original on the outside, but are mixed/corrupted in the inside. They are the chaff/tares that were sown among the wheat by an enemy of the original nation. The woman is to give birth to her Lord, Fraud/Michael, who is destined to rule the nations with his rod of iron, the Shia. The devils are trying to destroy the original nation by corrupting it with their seed, so that there will be nothing for Michael to rule with but their seed. Then was the dragon. Its authority was in its heads, the European nations, Gog, Magog, and Dajjal. They do the dragon's bidding. The dragon, Saudi Arabia, controls its heads by the steady flow of cheap oil that it provides, which fuels their technology and powerful military machine, which they in turn use to protect the House of Saud, the dragon. The tail of the dragon is the serpent. The African countries is also symbolic of prophets, a mixture of righteous and unrighteous prophets, prophets of God and prophets of Satan, along with Yaqub himself. There are 3 righteous prophets, Elijah, Isa, and Muhammad. In 1975, Elijah/Enoch, who was missioned to preach to the wheat as well as the chaff, was removed/taken by Farad. His departure was not witnessed by Elias/Farrakhan, who wanted control of both portions of Elijah's spirit, but did not get it because it was conditional on his witnessing Elijah's going up to the wheel, which he didn't, and he subsequently turned against Elijah, questioning the existence of Farad. Quote, "Where is the God of Elijah?" End quote. Methuselah/Farrakhan takes Elijah's seat, accompanied by Enoch's son Lamech. The two plot to scuttle/plunder the NOI for everything of value, while hurling it down into the dust, with no regard for the faithful, hard-working, sacrificing believers. This is the woman, the original nation fleeing from the wrath of the dragon, Saudi Arabia, who is trying to stamp out the teachings of Farad. The dragon hates Farad and his messenger Elijah. This is the falling away, where the son of perdition, Farrakhan, is revealed. The true believers, the 144,000, the elect of the Lamb, flee Farrakhan and Wallace and their Balaam BS immediately. Some find refuge with the Sunni, some with the Shia. The NOI is no more, replaced and renamed the Balaams. Farad is mocked and dismissed by Wallace and Farrakhan. Farrakhan, the son of perdition, lifts himself up above everyone in the original nation, calling himself a god, son of man, Christ, etc., etc., everything that is called God.
I'm a young God.
The woman has several children, original and demons. One child is given 2 wings of an eagle, where it flies into a desolate place for 1,260 days, or 42 months, which is really 42 years. That child of the woman is the Christian demons, the tares. The 2 wings are the 2 bottom wings / of the Christian wings of the eagle. 1975 plus 42 equals 2017, which means that the Christian demon child would only be there until 2018. The Muslim seed / the righteous children of the woman was nourished from the face of the serpent for a time, times, and half a time. This is the period outlined in chapter 18, which begins at the time of the trade wars. The face of the serpent is the son, or son of man, aka Lamb, who will, after casting down the thrones of the NOI, take charge and clean house. These are the righteous seed that the dragon goes after once he is kicked out of the heaven / Middle East by the Shia / Farad's angels. In 1990, Gog, Magog, and Dajjal, the money changers / capitalists, proceed with their plans to take down Islam and take over the Middle East. They invade Iraq, destabilizing the region, a preliminary step towards their ultimate goal of the invasion, occupation, and dismantling of Iran, giving regional dominance and control to false Israel, who has designs on the entire Middle East. Gog, Magog, and Dajjal, the capitalist money changers, America, Britain, and false Israel, on their mission to subdue, control, and ultimately break the back of Islam, invade the first of a series of Islamic countries, changing the balance of power in the Middle East. Iran and Syria, the Shia, the ultimate target, are forced into the margins. America's aggression in the Middle East is their first overt attack on Islam. The Soviet Union has collapsed. Now America has turned full attention to breaking the back of Islam. The religious Sunni Arabs are resentful and suspicious of America's motivations. America's claim of WMD proved false, yet they stuck around anyway, an occupation force. In the fifth seal, they are praying for justice and revenge. For 11 years, approximately 1/2 hour later, an hour is 24 years, the Sunni Arabs plan their revenge. Having planned their revenge, they strike at the heart of America's symbol of capitalism, the World Trade Center. The Sunni Arabs, as well as all knowledgeable Muslims, know that the true religion of America and the West is capitalism. Capitalism is at war with Islam, and Islam is at war with capitalism. Allah is at war with the usurers, the priests of capitalism. All the attackers were Sunni Arabs from Saudi Arabia. None were from Iraq. This attack was inspired by Suleiman. He is the angel who receives the 7 trumpets. The seals have been broken by Suleiman, and the attack on the World Trade Center was his first warning shot across the bow of God before he starts sending his angels forth the 7 trumpets. The trumpets are also the 7 seals, and Suleiman, having broken the seals, is about to loose them on Gog and Magog. The attack on Gog 911 is an announcement of his presence. "2003 signals 2 major events. First, the sounding of the 5th trumpet, which is actually the first of the 4 trumpets to blow. The 6th is the 2nd trumpet, which is holding back the first 4 trumpets. The 5th is symbolic of Jesus, Isa, descending from heaven to join and lead the Shia. Isa inspires Iran, the Shia, his true disciples, to release scorpions upon the invaders, America, Britain, Gog and Magog. The scorpions are IEDs that plagued the American and British forces for 5 months/years, from 2003 to the so-called surge in 2008. The effect is demoralizing, which caused a dramatic increase in suicide as soldiers seeking death, the so-called PTSD, where they want to die but are not able to die. The unstated fact here is that the military is getting its ass kicked over there in the Middle East and Afghanistan, so much so that the soldiers rather kill themselves rather than go back there. The second of the 2 events is the beginning of Jonah's preaching to Nineveh, which he had previously refused to do since the departure of Elijah and the rise of the son of perdition. Jonah avoided the Nineveh and Farrakhan for nearly 30 years. holding his breath and his fire. However, Jonah, having been coerced by being restrained on an island in the Pacific called Guam for 3 years, began his mission preaching to the Nineveh. 2008, America gets another warning, a financial collapse, the rise of Obama, who the angel calls the devil, the rider of the white horse of the first seal. He is also the character in chapter 1, the one, quote, like, unquote, the Son of Man, who the ignorant and misinformed, including the, quote, anointed, unquote, thinks is Jesus. Quote, like, unquote, means not. He is the incarnation of Jakub. Like the Son of Man means he is not the Son of Man. He goes forth conquering and to conquer, which means he has another conquest beyond president. The angel states that he will head a union of African states. He is called the scarlet beast, who unites with the beast who had 10 crowns on his 10 horns, China and India, against America. In chapter 17, he is he who African Americans will be awed by, whose names are not in the Lamb's book of life. In other words, the demons will be taken/awed by Obama. (2008) Financial collapse, rise of Obama. The sixth trumpet blows, which holds back the first 4 trumpets, which are also the 4 winds. 2008 fulfills the sun became black as sackcloth of hair and moon whole became as blood. This represents the spirit of Muhammad entering the Sunni and the spirit of Isa entering the Shia, while the spirit of the Son of Man is preaching to the NOI. Isa and Muhammad are characterized as the blood of the Lamb/Son of Man. 2016, Obama steps down. Mr. Trump, the king of the South, steps up. The sign of Jonah, the only sign given to the wicked, is fulfilled. Jonah prophesies that Nineveh, the great city/America, and Nineveh/NOI will be destroyed 40 days/years after the departure of Elijah. 1975 plus 40 equals 2015. And it didn't occur, even though he was coerced into making that prophecy restrained on an island for 3 years. Mr. Trump, the new Pharaoh who shuns Joseph's Jonah's warnings steps up. Babylon falls, meaning it is in conflict with self and everyone else, particularly division. America is divided against Europe and Russia. Homosexuality reigns, and animosity between America and blacks is ever increasing. To Trump, do not attack North Korea nor Iran, specifically Iran. The day you do it, you will surely die within a year. Within 1 year, you, Eve, your son Cain/Israel, and husband Adam/Britain will be no more. I know you will ignore this warning. I know you will be made aware of the warning. We know all your secrets, your secret plans. You have reached your expiration date, a date built into your people's DNA by your maker. From this point on, everything you do will backfire. Everything. Your history, your destiny was written before your existence. Your destruction will come as a snare, and you will not escape. This is where we are right now. November 2018, where desperate, aggressive America is turning up the heat on the planet. She is at everyone's throat, friends and foe alike. Mr. Trump is being string-walked by his puppet master, Netanyahu, to attack Iran and take control of their oil, a solution to America's out-of-control debt, and a major step in false Israel's goal of gaining the entire Middle East. Thrones cast down. The NOI is about to come under new management. The Ancient of Days sits. The NOI is in the early stages of revolt. Mr. Anointed is about to be exposed and deposed. The son of perdition, who the Son of Man will destroy with his imminent appearing, is about to be destroyed. Mr. Anointed will be exposed as working for the devils, undermining the messenger's work. It was obvious all the time, but who was listening? Quote, now the original nation will someday be brothers and sisters with devils. End quote. If that didn't clear the house, what would? The slowly boiling frog. Quote, we ain't going nowhere. Devils ain't devils, just the enemy. Only the satanic Jews are bad. End quote. Every sentence, every word, every letter, a heresy to Elijah's memory, to Elijah's teachings. War breaks out in heaven. The dragon, Saudi Arabia, initiates events that will trigger a war in the Middle East, a war between Saudi Arabia and its allies, America, Britain, and false Israel against the Shia, who will be supported by the forces of Michael/Farad and the backing of Russia. The Shia will be victorious, throwing the money changer/capitalist America, Britain out of the Middle East, laying siege to false Israel, taking her along with extracting a severe vengeance with the survivors thrown out to sea. The dragon, House of Saud, will be overthrown, and the two holy sites will be in Shia hands. The Shia will be masters of the entire Middle East, all the way to and including Libya. Then comes the vengeance of Dajjal, the revenge of Satan, the revenge of the Antichrist, the false lying Jews. They will seek to, if not prevented by Farad, New Jerusalem, the desolation of appallment. If they can have it, no one can. We will see if Farad intervenes. Those days will be shortened. The defeat of Gog and Magog in the Middle East, the overthrow of the house of Saud, the siege and obliteration of false Israel will throw America into a dizzying panic. The truth of America will be exposed, her lies revealed and shouted from every rooftop. The narrative that the Jews are Abraham's seed is torn to shreds, and the truth of the original people revealed. The truth of the demons revealed. The Son of Man's voice will be above everyone's voice. The Son of Man, firmly in control of the NOI, will be attacked by the house of Saud under the orders of vanquished Dajjal. The house of Saud, angry at the Son of Man who supported Iran, the Shia, and condemned the Sunni, will encourage Christian blacks/demons to attack the NOI, the Son of Man. The house of Saud/Dragon will also, with their vast wealth stored up in America, encourage black insurrection, vengeance for America's failing to return to the Middle East and expelling Iran, and America not honoring the Quincy pact/deal/promise that America made to King Aziz in exchange for the perpetual supply of cheap, abundant oil. America's promise of defense and protection of the House of Saud's control in Arabia in perpetuity. The blacks are the plagues of the AL-INJIL. There will be riots, insurrection, unparalleled in American history, unimaginable. The four winds blow. The plagues come to America and Britain. The plagues are the blacks, the demons, their corrupt seed. The blacks stand up against the oppressor. The plague of Samson, who, in seeking revenge from his tormentors/oppressors, brought down their house, destroying himself in the process. After the four winds blow, the enraged dragon, the rider on the red horse, conspires and is successful in taking peace from the earth, meaning igniting World War III between the Western powers. The dragon, feeling betrayed by the West because of the dragon's loss of kingdom, seeks to destroy the West that it feels it made possible with its generous supplies of cheap oil for over 70 years. How will the dragon do it? How will the House of Saud do it? Will it be terrorism from enraged Sunnis, that the Shia has control of the holy cities, Mecca and Medina? All the Western countries, including Russia and America, have large populations of Sunnis who will be absolutely beside themselves over loss of Mecca and Medina. The blowing of the four winds, the igniting of World War III will force the resurrection of the blacks/clouds, a time of unprecedented trouble. It takes the threat of an actual nuclear war to wake up the blacks. The blacks unite. They run to Suleiman, the Son of Man, the judgment, where Suleiman separates the chaff/tares from the wheat. The chaff are rejected. The beast, China/India, the leopard/goat of Daniel, become the new superpowers, taking power from a divided, conflicted, and warring West. China and India are the leopard of Daniel, yellow leopard with brown spots. Judgment. The demons slash chaff slash terrorists have been screened out and cast into the flames slash fire. This means that being rejected, the demons run back to their swine slash daddies who are in a desperate war, a futile war against the beast. This beast is China and India, who have invaded America and Britain. They have become the dominant superpowers, taking power away from the dragon. The chaff in the fire are the demons, who, rejected by the Son of Man, run back to their daddies in defense of America, which is being invaded by China and India. Their daddies will promise them acceptance, access, etc., in their desperation to defend against the overwhelming forces of the beast. The fire is the war, the invasion of America, which is also called the Great Flood. Not a flood of water, but a flood of a 200 million man army, which will drown the West.